Hello everybody and welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Millie and I post at least 3 times a week on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday. Always cruelty free, drugstore affordable makeup reviews with the odd indie eyeshadow palette sprinkled in for good measure, and that is what we're doing today. I'm doing an eyeshadow palette bingo with the Arttitude Equanimity palette. So I'm going to be taking all of these shades, completely randomizing them, picking at least 5 and trying to come up with some sort of eyeshadow look. And once again, I say this in every single video, but I have got some other things that I want to film today, so keep your fingers crossed for me that this is going to go well. But of course this video is in collaboration with my YouTube bestie Cole. We post these at the same time and you watch mine, you watch hers, and you tell us who has won. And like I say, I always want the best for Cole in everything that she does. But also, I really hope that I win this one because I've got so many other things that I want to film today. It is the first day in the longest time that it has been like under 30 degrees in the UK. So I'm really trying to get through my to-do list in terms of filming content. But I already have a first impression for this palette. I will leave that linked. This is my eyeshadow palette bingo, and then I will be doing a 3 looks with video where I take this palette and I just try and come up with 3 completely different eyeshadow looks. And I love this palette. I love this colour story. I feel very inspired by it. So let's just get on into it. I have put all of these shades into my Tiny Decisions app and we're going to pick, like I say, at least 5 shades. So shade number 1 is going to be, oh, this was what I was worried about, the dark blue core that quite frankly just terrifies me. But I will try and use it. If I need to, I can do it as like a smoky wing. It's fine. So shade number 2 is going to be Duality. Okay, so this is the like marbled shade on the bottom row. It's like a little bit purple, quite sheer, but nice and like a little bit shifty. Oh, actually, you know what? Where I'm swatching that not very neatly and it's going over that core shade. Okay, we might be able to figure something out here. So shade number 3 is Spirit, which is the very bright, very intense yellow. I love this shade. I really do enjoy this shade, like right on the inner corner. So maybe I won't use it in that way today because that is how I've used it near enough every single time I have used this palette, but never mind. Shade number 4 is going to be Patience. Okay, so this is the light yellow. Let me just wipe my hand. So that is how the colour story is looking so far. The brightest yellow is Spirit and the lighter lemon pastel yellow is Patience. So then we do say a minimum of 5. I can go over that if I feel like I need to add something, but let's pick shade number 5, see what we get, see how we feel. We have got Vitality. Okay, so we're doing something very blue and yellow today. This has worked out quite well actually, because one of the looks that I wanted to do for my 3 looks with series was a blue and yellow like halo eye. So I'm just going to do that for this video. I think I'm just going to leave it at that. So I feel like this is cohesive enough for me that I feel like I can work with this, and I'm not just going to put that bright yellow right on the inner corner. I'm going to try and incorporate it somehow in a slightly different way. So these are the 5 shades. We've got Core, Duality, Spirit, Patience and Vitality. Okay, so let's zoom on in and we can create the look. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this selection. Even though when that darkest blue was picked first, my heart sank, I feel like it's all turned out well in the end. It's all going to go downhill from now, but let's zoom in and we can create the look. So I already have the Beauty Bay eyeshadow primer just in the shade 2, the skin tone shade. I have that all over my eyelid, and obviously I'm doing my eyes first. I have the Pixie eye masks on under my eyes, so we can just go a little bit wild, like blending, and just see where the day takes us. I'm going to start with a really, really tiny little pencil brush, and I'm going to go into Core first, that darkest, very, very intense blue, and I'm going to pack that right on the outer corner and right on the inner corner, but I basically don't want to blend this out too far at all because it is so dark and so intensely pigmented that quite frankly it scares me. So I'm just using that tiny little brush to really pack that on where I want it, but I will use the lighter blue to blend it out because that could overtake the look very, very quickly. So I am happy with how that is looking. Trying to keep them a little bit symmetrical, but obviously like not worrying too much about that. Then I will go in with another really, really small, slightly fluffier brush into Vitality, that brighter, more like mid-toned blue. And I will tap that over the edges and start softening down that darkest blue. So I've basically just tapped over all of the edges of that darker blue with the lighter, and it is sort of a little bit blended. Like, I'm not worried about it being perfect because obviously that is a very, very dark blue. I'm trying to mix in with more of a lighter mid-tone, so there's like a little bit of a blend there, and I am not worried. I'm not worrying about making that look perfect. So I'm going to go in next with, let's do that brighter yellow, which was Spirit, and I will put that, so bright, I'll put that right down the middle where the eyeshadow primer is still very, very much tacky, and I will lightly blend that into that Vitality shade. I'm forgetting what all of the names of the shades are. Start to get a little bit of a blend going on there. Try not to jab the brush straight into your retina. Generally speaking, as a rule, I do like to try and not do that, but also I always end up doing it. I'm really not exceptionally careful when I do my makeup, when I am blending, etc. Something always ends up in my retina. I'm actually amazed that I'm not completely blind yet because I'm just so clumsy. Just always jabbing things straight into my open eyeballs, and that's fine. I mean, it's not fine. Wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, I've lasted this long. Is that survivor's bias? Probably. It's fine. So I'm tapping that yellow over the blue a little bit. It's going a little bit green. I quite like that. I quite like how that is looking. Let's just go back in with a bit more of the blue, just to help that blend a little bit. I quite like that like high contrast though. I did a look, what was it for? It was the 3 looks with the Arch of Colour. I did this sort of shape with the yellow down the middle, but it was purple on, like the darker colour was purple, and I loved how that one turned out. But I do also very, very much enjoy this with the blue, because then it's turning green in between. And anything with green is good with me. Even if we didn't pick a green, we can make one. It's colour theory. And if I can add a green in, I absolutely will. So I'm happy with that whole blend. I'm happy with how that is looking. So I'm just going to take a big fluffy brush and dip into Patience, which was that lighter lemony yellow, and I'm basically just going to dust this over the top of everything to soften that lighter blue into my skin tone a little bit, and also just to say that we've used it because obviously I have gone quite heavy with that yellow down the centre. So I just need to add this one in, and then obviously we're going to put that shimmer like right down the centre of the eye, and then we've used all of the shades. And I didn't even have to do my, oh, I don't know what to do with this darkest shade and do a smoky wing. I've actually managed to incorporate it somehow, Good for me. I've done something a little bit different at least. If you've seen my channel, you know I always do the same thing. I always do the darkest shade on the outer corner, a very, very simple blend. I really don't get too creative at all, but I do enjoy a halo eye every now and again. I feel like I've done a load of them recently, but I'm enjoying this one. This specific look was literally on my to-do list. To do a blue to yellow halo eye was on my to-do list, so 2 birds, 1 stone. So I have just gone back in with a little bit more of that brighter yellow, which was Spirit, just to really brighten that up, and especially like above the crease. And then I will go in with Duality, which is a little bit purple, but I'm interested to see how that's going to look over this yellow, if it will like dull it down a little bit. So let's tap that lightly over the centre there. Yeah, it's turned it a little bit more sort of green. Do I love it? I maybe would have preferred one of the other shimmers, but I got a bit carried away with the matte shades there, never mind. I like it, I'm not mad. I will maybe go over the top with a bit more of the yellow, just to brighten it back up again. So I preferred it when it was a bit brighter, but I do enjoy this shimmer. It is sort of sheer, like you can still see the yellow coming through obviously, so I'm not mad. I am not mad. Yeah, so I've just tapped over with a little bit more, just a tiny bit of the Spirit shade. I feel like that's brightened that up. Like there's still that shimmer there. There's still those little bits of glitter underneath the yellow. Obviously it has dulled the yellow a little bit, but it has sort of turned it a bit sort of green and like almost murky looking, which I quite enjoy actually. I quite like how this has turned out. So I am going to take these eye patches off. I'm going to clean up under the eyes. I'll do the rest of my face and then we can do something under the eye. Probably just the blue. I might put the yellow on the inner corner as well, just to brighten it up. But it's there on the actual eye, on the eyelid, on the look as well. So I feel like you can let me get away with that one, can't you? Thank you so much. Okay, so the rest of the face is done. I'm just adding that lightest lemon Patience back into the inner corner because obviously we've got that blue in there, so I went quite heavy with the concealer. Let's try and make it look like I got some sleep last night. And I did sharpen this up on the outer corner, but I do think I want to sort of round this back out again, so let's go ahead and do that. I will take that same teeny tiny little brush that I was using for core. And now that I have the rest of my face done, I want to really tap that brush off so that I don't get any blue fallout on the rest of my face, because that would be a disaster, darling. So I have taken that darker blue like a little bit further out and also like a little bit further down under the eye than I probably usually would, because like I say, I want this to be very rounded. I will go in with that lighter blue as well, but just to catch you up on my thought process, I'm going to be doing a blue glittery wing, that Made by Mitchell one, and I do also have the Troublemaker Mischief eyeliner in Bad Habit. It's literally brand new. I got it delivered a few days ago and haven't taken the packaging off, so that's like where I want this look to eventually go. But I will go back in with a bit of Vitality, that lighter blue, and really buff out the edges lightly of that darker blue. And like I say, I really want this to be very round, so I'm going to do light layers so that I don't get blue all over my face, but I do want it to be really far out. Like, I think that's fun. I mean, I love a smoky under eye at the best of times, but I'm very much enjoying the shape that we've got going on here. And then I'm just taking a really small amount of the yellow, again, just further out to sort of match up with what we've got on the lid, but I'm very much enjoying that blend that we've got out here. That is very, very pretty. And while I finish blending, if you have any recommendations for pencil eyeliners, colourful, cruelty-free, affordable pencil eyeliners that last very well in the waterline, I would absolutely love to hear it. I've really gotten into a pencil eyeliner for the waterline in the last like couple of months. I've really been enjoying it. So if you have any recommendations, I would love to hear. I have near enough all of the shades of the Troublemaker ones now, but whatever recommendations you have, I want to hear it, because I'm just loving adding that extra little pop of colour like in the waterline. Obviously, like I say, I'm going to do a wing today, but I am also going to add this pencil into the waterline. So let me just get into this one. Like, look at that colour in the waterline. How fun. So yeah, if you've got any recommendations for a really nice creamy pencil, I want to hear them. But I'm going to go finish off the waterliner. I'm going to do the liquid liner, the Make a Mark in Wave After Wave, some mascara, and then we can decide together if I want the yellow on the inner corner. Which I definitely do, but we can pretend for a minute that I will do something other than what I always do. But let me finish everything else off first. Please, can we just pretend to be surprised? Can we just pretend that there was ever going to be a moment that I wasn't going to put that yellow on the inner corner? I mean, I've lasted until this point without it, but here it is now upon my eyeballs. I did put a little bit of the White Beauty Bay eyeshadow primer down, and then I packed that yellow right onto there. I mixed in a little bit of the lighter one, but it was mostly that bright yellow. And now we are done. So we have used every single shade. I feel like I could have done this whole look without the shimmer. This would have been a very pretty all matte look. Like I said, I did a look very similar to this with the Arch of colour, but it was purple based instead of blue. It was still yellow, but the darker colour was purple. So there we are, my eyeshadow palette bingo with the Equanimity palette, and probably one of my favourite palette bingos that I've ever done. I love how this has turned out. I love the contrast between those colours. Was it because I already had this look in mind, so I knew what my direction was going to be? Probably, but I am looking forward to playing with this palette some more. I love how this one has turned out. So I would love to hear, who do you think has won, me or Miss Cole? I will leave her channel and her video linked down below, and let's wait and see. Honestly, how do you beat an orange and yellow? Orange? I was looking at my nails. How do you beat a yellow and a blue halo eye with a bright yellow in a corner? Because I say you can't beat this. I love how this has turned out. But Cole comes up with the most like elaborate, you should have seen her first impression for this palette. She did this like cut out, like out here. It was incredible. Go and watch her video immediately. Go and watch her eyeshadow palette bingo for a little bit more inspiration. If you want very creative, colourful looks, she is your gal. But I will leave this palette linked down below. I would love to hear whatever thoughts you've got on this one. I will be doing an eyeshadow palette bingo with the Sun palette. I will be doing an eyeshadow palette bingo with the Fauna palette. What else have I picked up recently? I can't even remember. There's been so many new palettes coming out, and I have been just so excited about all of them. There is so much like indie eyeshadow palette content on my channel at the minute. I'm thrilled with it. There's just so much colour, it's so much fun. But that is everything for today. Until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye bye.